Hey everyone, it's Coach Paige here. Alright, so we're going to go over how to cover your AOR or area of responsibility when you don't have your pin hitters as part of your blocking formation, okay? To start, we're gonna have the middle always be blocking. So the middle will always block the attack. So we'll start with this left side attack here. The middle should be here blocking it. So that is with the yellow blocking formation right here. That is her area of responsibility. Now we'll do the right side. So if the right side isn't blocking, what they're gonna do is from their base, gonna come into here and take this short ball through here. They wanna play the ball that's in front of the setter, trying to prevent it from the setter from taking it, but we also don't wanna reach back and risk shanking it. So be mindful of where you are on the court with that. The left side, since they're not blocking, they wouldn't be blocking anyway, their AOR is the same as what it would be with the right side blocking. They have all this ball through here. Even though this is partially in the blue, the left side still should be ready to read that tip as well and crash in here with the right side. The libero shouldn't be right behind that left. We want them to have their own AOR in their own space, so they'll be right here through the green, covering these balls here, reading it, trying not to be right behind the middle blocker, either on one side or pick another side of them, okay? The setter from their base will drop back to their line to cover their line for this left side attack. They'll get this deep ball in here. And the right side should be getting there short as well. The left back will go from their base here at the end line over to the left side. They want to get this deep back of the court through here. And then you may be wondering, Coach Paige, what is this spot in here that's white? Well, the reason that's left white is because in theory, if the block is set up properly by the middle, they should be taking this ball in here. Hypothetically, if the block isn't set up and the middle only got to here, this left side should come in here and crash that hole. And so that's basically how that AOR for the left side attack should work. All right, so now we're gonna do the opposite of what we just did, the right side attack. So with the right side attack, again, that middle is going to be our first layer of defense, blocking that right side attack. The left front will come in from their base. We don't want to release, because if you release, you're not going to get this ball. We want you to come in here and take the tip balls and short balls through here in this area, okay? The right side, that's front row, whether it's a setter or a true right side, should be playing this ball through here, ready for the cut shot in here. They're reading it, they're coming in here and trying to cut it off before, so our setter doesn't have to take it, along with this tip ball in here. Both of these front row players should get all the tip balls. There shouldn't be a tip ball in the front row that these two players on any hitter that they should not cover and crash in, therefore. So that's where the right side goes, right about that 10-foot line area and inside from their base, which their base would be from here dropping back into here. The libero, kind of like how the setter was on the left side attack, the libero is going to be protecting her line and covering this area through here. And as a libero, you want to take as many balls as you possibly can. So you want to cover as much area of that you physically can. So even if the ball's in here, you still want to take that. The left side starts from the middle back, and they should go to the opposite side of the attack, because this ball in here, in theory, should also be blocked by the middle, along with this ball that is here in the white spot. The setter comes from her base here and comes in and then is ready to play these balls through here. But just remember, as always, these lines are not walls, so hypothetically, if the ball landed kind of where my finger is pointing right now, the right side should try and cut it off, but if it's above her head, the setter's there for her back and is able to play the ball nice and high to the libero. So that is all that really goes into a right side attack. The other thing is, if the middle does maybe float to the line, this libero is not doing anything right behind the middle, so she should come in a little bit, this libero should come up a little, or the left side should come up a little bit, and everybody can kind of shift accordingly. And that is all that kind of goes into that. For a middle attack, again, all of these rotations, the right side nor left are blocking in, but honestly, this is pretty much the same as it is for if there were blockers, because in theory, the only person blocking a middle is the opposite middle. So we'll put her matchup on the court as the off middle, covering that area there, taking away the balls that are going straight ahead. Middles, your job isn't also just to block straight up. Your goal is to also read the ball. So if you see her kind of turning that way, you could open up your hand and go that way, or vice versa on the other side. The left front and right front, get these balls that are in this area through here. Again, the reason why this is shaded 2 different colors is because it's not just one person's job. It is your job to talk to your teammate about who is getting this ball in here that is tipped over the block. It's not just, we should stare at each other. It's one of us needs to go, and we need to have that good communication with your teammate saying, hey, I'll pick those up, those are mine. And then same with balls that are in here. You guys pick your offsides here, and that's where you should be playing your defense for the middle attack. The setter and lid, you kind of have the back fourth of them. So you guys go from your base, you could drop back into here. Same sort of thing that I was talking about up here. You don't want this ball to drop. Personally, we would prefer our liberos to take this ball in here if it drops, if it's dropping there, because we don't want our setter to. We want our setter to have as much of a free release as physically possible. But obviously, not every scenario is going to be perfect, so do your best. Reading is going to be a big part of what you are doing. As a libero and the setter, you don't want to be right behind the right and left, because you're not going to be able to see where that ball's going. So you want to kind of stagger yourself with them and be able to see the ball completely around your teammates. And then the left back has probably the most challenging role in this specific attack, because you're going to have to pick a side. From your base back here, you're going to have to pick to either go to this side of the middle or this side of the middle. And what I would read based off of what they've done more consistently. So say the middle has gotten a lot of kills towards zone 5, maybe start cheating towards that direction when that middle is hitting. Or start working on reading that hand. Say, hey, I see her pinky going down. That ball's probably gonna go more towards 1, or that thumb's going down, so I need to go more towards 5. You know, getting in the habit of picking a side and being confident in picking that side. And you're not always gonna be perfect. There are times that you are going to be wrong, and it's just part of the game. If the middle isn't blocked, it doesn't get up and she kind of just stands there, you would stay in your base as the middle back. Everybody else would also remain the same, except for maybe this left side. They would kind of crash in just a little more. But this left side, if there was no middle, should come in and cover this spot in here. And this is only if the middle is not blocking. So honestly, let's just kick her off the court and say that she's not blocking and doing her job. So because there's no middle blocker, this left back would come up here and cover this white gap. And that is basically everything that goes into the middle attack. Last thing I want to go over is a free ball. So free ball is any ball that is just dumped over the net, set over the net, basically an easy ball that we should get up. So from your base position, so I'll put everybody from their base, okay, to start. And we'll just assume for the sake of this scenario that the setter is front row. So if this is everybody's base position, on a free ball, that setter should be getting her butt to the net. So that setter has that free release. She should be yelling free, 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 free that entire time. From there, this left side should see, oh, hey, that setter's gone. I need to come in and split the court with my libero. So you guys should be taking even balls in here that I colored that aren't necessarily your color. You should try your best to take these balls because these guys are trying to get that free release. However, these right side and left side wings shouldn't just free release all the time, because what if a ball gets dropped right into here, okay? You guys should kind of come into this 10-foot line area and cover these balls that are tipped short into here. But liberos, especially you guys, should be touching 90% of the free balls. Reading it, getting there, because in theory, you're our best passer. So you want to be taking as many of those balls as possible. The middle isn't just standing there looking pretty. We're going to have them come off the net, and they are covering these balls that land through here, and they're trying to take that ball with their hands and give their setters a perfect pass. That way they can be rewarded with that perfect set, and hopefully that's a kill for us. A free ball, in theory, is a free point. So that's kind of one way to look at it. The other thing I kind of want to talk about, the colors are still going to be pretty much the same for it, but if the setter was just front row, so say the right side is actually back row, so this would be in a 5-1 scenario. This left side would still come in and cover her area here. The middle would still do her job. The only difference would be you guys still pretty much split the court, but this right side can take up more of this area in here because you're not getting that free release as a right back player. You're now back row, so you cannot hit this C. You would just drop in here while these two pretty much still split the backcourt. Because again, this right side should be taking these balls so that way our setter doesn't have to play those first balls because we want her to set up the attack. Another important thing to note about the free ball is once you guys are released, these guys shouldn't really be taking the free ball. It should ultimately come down to these two players in the middle taking that first ball. So once these two know that they're not getting that ball, they need to release immediately. So the second it's over their shoulder, they see that going into the middle, release. Get outside the court, be ready to do your next job, which is to hit. That's basically everything you need to know about how to run your area of responsibility when only the middle is blocking. If the pins are not blocking, this is where you guys should be roughly. Again, I will put that disclaimer, the lines in between all the AORs are not walls. You shouldn't be just being like, oh, that ball's in here, so it's not the left side's ball. No, or the middle's ball. If the middle can take a step up back and take that ball with her hands, she should. Same thing, if Valibero reads that ball and comes into her zone, that's not a bad thing on her. That's a good thing. That means you guys are starting to read and you're starting to learn. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave them below in the comments. Otherwise, have a good rest of your day, and yeah.